one of the easiest videos you can do here on YouTube is a pre-season predictions for the league. We are going to move into the 25-26 season. Sunderland are back in the Premier League. Really amazing. Long story short, we're at the start of the window, so a lot of the signings, a lot of this can change, and I might do another one before the start of the season. Depends on if I see enough changes across the board to warrant my mind being changed about where I think these teams are going to finish. So, what I've got, instead of just listing who I think is going to finish first to last, I'm going to let the wheel, this lovely wheel here, decide who I announce and when. So, without further ado, let's spin that wheel. The first team I have got, Wolves. Wolves. Oh, this one's very interesting. Last season we had them finish in 16th place. This is what I think is going to be the team that breaks the mold. This is the team that's going to join the relegation teams. I put them down as 19th. Again, maybe they've got a lot more quality than the 3 teams coming up. I get that, but I'm just hoping that somebody in the current Premier League breaks that duck, and I think Wolves are the most likely to do that. So, Wolves finishing 19th. Let me know your thoughts on that one. Prediction number 2. I'll do relatively quick if I keep going at this rate. Newcastle United. Where have I got them? Is it all the way down the bottom? No, it's not that bad. One thing I will say, I don't have any single team repeating their position that they finished last season, so that might keep you a little bit interested. It's just pure chance that that's happened. But I do see Newcastle dropping off a little bit in form, not too much. I've got them finishing from 5th this season down into 8th. But I hope they fall even further and further because FTM. So yes, Newcastle I have finishing in 8th. Next up is Spurs, Tottenham. Tottenham winning the Europa Conference against Man United, finishing where does Spurs finish? 17th, just outside that relegation zone. What a horrific Premier League campaign they had. A lot of interesting moves, especially around Andy Postecoglou. But yes, I've got them climbing back up with a little bit of confidence and maybe that new manager bounce and reinvigoration, I guess, but still just finishing in the bottom half in 12th. I think that might be one of the biggest climbs I've got in the year as well. Maybe not. But yeah, Spurs climbing from 17th to 12th is my prediction. And we shall that way. It's going to be a very long video, isn't it? Manchester City. Right, we're getting to the top end of the table. This one, I've put to climb. We don't need a second. 3rd place finish of the season. They've weird humble. I think how they're going to pan out without De Bruyne is going to be really, really quite intriguing. Who steps into that position? Who becomes the new, basically, clubman? That's going to be really interesting to see. And I think they might just fall short. But those of you that might also have recognised my earlier comment, that means we might have somebody else at the top. Next up, we have Chelsea. Okay, so Chelsea, I think, are going to slightly dip off because of their Champions League focus, and they usually do a lot better when they do focus on one thing. So I've got Chelsea finishing in 6th, which again could mean they finish in the Champions League next season, depending on how far they progress in competitions. But yeah, Chelsea, slight dip, but not by too much. I'm still in that contention area in 6th. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let me know if you think that's a bit stupid. Oh, is that? It's Liverpool. Okay, Liverpool. Obviously, current champions, I can't recall in my living memory Liverpool winning back-to-back titles. I know they've won the 2019 and obviously dominant throughout the 70s and 80s, but I wasn't alive then. So this current squad has definitely a lot of quality. Like, there's undoubtable, just pure effort of quality in there. With Trent leaving, and yeah, I can't see them retaining the title. I can definitely see them fighting for it, but I've got them slipping down from first, from the champions, down in third. So, sorry, Liverpool fans, but I mean, it's just a vibe at the stage. I've got to see the window at the end of the day. But with that key element of Trent leaving, I'm just not sure that you've got the right replacement in place for that wing, and I think that's going to be a very vulnerable position that you'll have for the rest of the season. So recruitment is key. Recruitment is key, and it's very early in these predictions. Next one we have Brentford. That boy, obviously. Brentford. Last finish was 10th. Sorry about the typo, Brentford. Whatever. It's a typo. It's nothing serious. Please don't be a petty diddle. Petty diddle person. Why didn't that remove? Oh. I have to wait for them again now. I'll have to get back to Brentford. Forest, Nottingham Forest. Where did I put them? Where did they finish? Oh, this one's an interesting one. So Forest finished 7th last season. Getting into Europa. Yeah, I think Forest are a very freaky team. They were in the top 4 for a very long time as well. I don't know. I don't know if they'll be able to maintain that shock and awe that they've been implementing over the last 2-3 seasons. So yeah, I've got them slipping, but not by much again, down to 9th. I'll leave I don't really have much to say about Nottingham Forest. They're not a team I massively pay attention to, but it is what it is. Fulham, on the other hand, I do like to keep an eye on. They did finish 11th, and again, another team I've got slipping ever so slightly. I've got them down in 14th, mid-table finish. That pack in the middle is a game here or there. It could be, I think, probably anybody down from 10th down to 16th could be within 3-4 points of each other at the end of the season. So it is very tight in the middle of the pack, but they're in that mix. And we're getting there, aren't we? Palace. Okay. Palace finished 12th last season. A very bang average performance. What you'd expect from Palace. They're in that close to that mid-table pack, like I said. Just a couple of games here or there each season, you can see them climb higher and higher up. With their duck being broken, with their FA Cup win, I think that will potentially attract a couple of, I wouldn't say big names, but a bit more ambitious names, because they've been there, they've done it, they've got accolades to their name now. So I've got Palace finishing in 7th in the Europa spot. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they get on this season. It depends on, again, recruitment, but that win, the FA Cup, is going to boost a lot of their players' confidence. No end. So, yes, I see no end. 10 is probably the cap. There we go. Cool. Right, next one. We're getting there. West Ham. Oh, 14th down to 16th. I've just got respect for West Ham. I don't really like their some of their fans' attitudes, but generally, solid team. Respect what Moyes did a couple of seasons ago. 14th down to 16th. Again, one of those mid-table packs could be 10th at the end of the day, but results generally don't go West Ham's favour when it comes down to those key decisions in games. So, yeah, West Ham I have down in 16th. It's actually the things on the left here are really interesting. It's getting more and more interesting. I think we've still got all of the promoted teams from the Championship still, um, and a couple of the teams that could be competing for that top spot as well. So that's pretty cool. Is that another spelling mistake? Brighton. Burton. It's not Burton. It's Brighton. Sorry, again, I made spelling mistakes. I'm human. Whatever. I've got Brighton climbing from 8th into 5th. I think if we do well, as in like England do well across the Champions League, they will become a Champions League team next season. And yeah, whilst Sunderland weren't in Premier League, that was kind of my little my fantasy team is built around fat Brighton players. So I just want more points. So Brighton finishing higher helps me out a lot. So hopefully, let me know. Sorry, Burn. If you're happy with that, let me know. There you go. I mentioned we have the 3 promoted teams to go through. With Burnley, I have them finishing in 18th, which again, very respectable. But there was 2 squads. I've already put Wolves in 19th, but I think of the 3 promoted squads, I think they'll put up a really good fight. Defensively, they are solid. I just don't know if they'll be able to handle the pace of players in the Premier League. So, they will surprise a lot of teams. They'll grind out a lot of draws, like 0-0s with their specialty this season. So, just picking up the points here and there, but struggling to win. So yeah, I'm going to say 18. And then, who do we have? Manchester United. They've had their worst season in a very long time. I think that was their worst season since they were relegated in the 60s. They finished 15th in the end. Just to be fair, it was an abysmal season. I'm not sure how any of those players could like justify their wages. Some just miraculous. Just what a horrific season. And quite frankly, if they did continue and maybe there wasn't that like massive golfing Premier League versus Championship, they could have been relegated that season. Maybe done a Wimbledon. Nobody's too big to fail in this league, and that for me is why I put them 10th. I think that they can't continue on that. They need to have a recovery plan and try and get back into that big six. But, some of their players, some of their squad, I don't think they're really in it. But we'll see. I'm not going to get lots of Manchester United fans screaming about that one. Leeds United. So somehow we've ended up with both the promoted teams right next to each other. That's very interesting. However, they'll be removed from this list. And where have I put Leeds United? I've put them quite high up in the table, actually. As the champions with 100 points in the Championship, goal scoring is not an issue for this team. I can see them losing heavily against some of the big teams and the strong physical sides, but the scrappy games, the games like Wolves, games against other promoted teams, Sunderland and Burnley, I can see them picking up wins. And again, teams like Manchester United, who are a bit flip-floppy, and Spurs, I can see them picking up the points. So I've got them finishing 13th, which is very, very high. I do admit that it's very high. But again, I'd like to see at least one Championship team break that mold and come out on the other side. I'd much rather it be Sunderland, but I've got to put a bit of a realistic head on that. So, I can't believe I've spelled Brentford wrong, and Brighton. whatever. Oh, Everton, Everton. Oh, I have Everton clawing their way, remaining just inside of the Premier League again. Um, they finished 13th last season, but over the last, I'd say maybe since Sunderland got relegated, and maybe a little bit before, they've always finished in that bottom quarter. And I don't know, their luck might be in this season again, very much like when Sunderland did it in the mid 2010s. But yeah, 13th down to 17th, and again, flirting with Burnley for that relegation spot, maybe in the last day of the season as well. So it's tight. It's very tight. We have 5 teams left. Brentford. I missed out at the end. Whatever. I'm actually kind of really disappointed in myself that I've done that. I've already done them. I kind of have. So they finished 10th. I've got them down into 15. Yeah, like I said, that middle pack, picking up points, good games here and there. Yeah. Right, we're down to the last 4 positions available. We have 1st, 4th, 11th, and relegated. So, again, if you're making the prediction of those 4 teams, who you putting 1st, who you putting 4th, who you putting 11th and 20th? I think this will go to show how well balanced I think I'm trying to be with these predictions. Okay. Awesome. There you go. Nice and easy. I think they're due the title. They are due. They're due the title. They've been second place for the last 3 seasons. Man City, Liverpool, skating around them, and they've picked up more points than both those 2 teams. They just always finish second in the race. So I think this might be their year. They've got players, they've got quality. They just need that consistency to grind out the results. And maybe they can progress a little bit further into the final of Champions League as well. I do think Arsenal have a fantastic squad. Sadly. Then it's Aston Villa. What are the chances of Sunderland being one of the last 2 teams? That is bizarre. Aston Villa climbing up from 6th into 4th. I think they might do it a little bit more comfortably than Brighton, and with that, confirming a Champions League spot yet again. Yeah. Again, I used to live near the Villa ground, so I know quite a few Villa fans, and they'll be quite happy with that impressive improvement. Obviously, they want a title at some point, but they're not going to do it. There's 3 better teams in this league than Villa, and not much more. Then, Brighton versus Sunderland. Right. You can tell it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Sunderland came up via the playoffs, 2-1 against Sheffield United. I will not live that down. I've got us finishing last. I sincerely hope that we don't finish 20th. However, I'm a realist. With current squad, there's a lot of recruitment needed to get ourselves up to that Premier League quality, and I'm not sure if we're going to be throwing the cash to do that. Ideally, I hope we don't do what Southampton and Luton did last season and invest it quite coolly. Yeah. Anyways, 20th place. I hope we're like off, but I'm being real. Sorry. And then finally, wonder who it could be. It's Bournemouth. I've spelled Bournemouth right, I think. Maybe. Anyways, Bournemouth, mid-table, 11th, climbing down 2 places from that. Again, mid-table, point here and there. I can see this being realistic. So, to recap, I've got Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Brighton, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Forest, Manchester United, Bournemouth, Tottenham Hotspur, Leeds, Fulham, Brentford, West Ham, Everton, Burnley, Wolves, and Sunderland. That is my transfer market, season prediction for the Premier League in the 25-26 campaign. Let me know your thoughts, any comments that you might have made from what I've said so far. Let me know down below. So the next one, bye.